So I used to think that artificial intelligence was just one of those words that people threw around to get investors excited about putting their money in the stock market, and I thought that it would never happen in my lifetime, but I think I'm wrong. If you haven't heard about OpenAI's Sora, it's about to blow your mind and probably change the world forever in ways that I don't think people fully understand yet. You type in some text of what you want and it creates videos, and it does that at such a high level of realism that it shouldn't even be possible. Here are just some of the examples of what it can do right now. Here's a stylish woman that walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm glowing neon and animated city signage. She wears a black leather jacket, a long red dress, and black boots, and carries a black purse. That was a 1 minute long video that Sora created with just a couple words in that prompt. Now, I added the music and the sound effects because right now it can't do that and it can't sync with video, but I imagine it will soon. But it's doing that with such a level of realism that it shouldn't be possible without physically traveling to Tokyo and shooting on a low-light full-frame sensor camera like the A7S III in 4K at 120 frames per second. And it's creating a shot that has never existed before in human history, and all it took was just a couple words on a keyboard. It gets crazier though. Here's a movie trailer featuring the adventures of the 30-year-old spaceman wearing a red wool knitted motorcycle helmet, blue sky, salt desert, cinematic style shot on 35mm film with vivid colors. That straight up looks like a scene from a J.J. Abrams movie, except with a lot less lens flares. Hold on. There, I fixed it. It gets even better because it can take a simple photo as an input and reimagine it into a video that looks like this. This is absolutely insane. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of what it can do. Let me show you how this technology is about to change all our lives and the global economy forever. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the magic because seeing is no longer believing. AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, is the single most important invention in all of human history, and it will also probably be our last. Because once you create the thing that can create anything, it's game over. And I used to think that that was science fiction, or at least it wouldn't happen for a long time and probably not in my lifetime. But it's kind of scary how fast it actually is happening, and it's accelerating. Now, my initial thoughts are that it will probably displace millions of jobs. And throughout this video, I'll probably be asking you more questions than I'll be answering because I don't know the answer. Like, what's gonna happen to specialty companies that make cameras and drones? You used to need a company that did that, the thousands of dollars that you needed saved, and the drone license to operate them. But now you don't need any of that. All you have to do is type drone view of waves crashing against the rugged cliffs along Big Sur's Gray Point Beach. Voila. You get a picture-perfect cinematic drone shot. I mean, this is crazy. I've been to Big Sur, and I actually flew a drone there, and it looked exactly like that. Except in this case, they recreated the shot perfectly, and they didn't have to go to California. Thank the Lord. Kidding. But also, what happens to all the videographers that are out there? Because in 2022, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that videographers earned roughly $62,000 a year, which is a very livable wage, and there's approximately 87,500 videographers in the US alone. And they range anywhere from wildlife all the way to oceanographers. And those very specific fields within videography can also now be replicated by Sora. Here's Borneo wildlife on the Kinabatangan River. Here's one of the most detailed shots of a Victoria-crowned pigeon. Here's some woolly mammoths for you, and here's an octopus doing its octopus thing. So now we're potentially talking about not needing videographers at all, or at least not as many as we have today, and we might not even need companies that make special glass like macro lenses because here's an extreme close-up of a 24-year-old woman's eye blinking standing in Marrakesh during magic hour. Come on, if someone didn't tell you that was AI, would you even think twice about it? Also, another question, what happens to the animators? The people that made things like Toy Story. In 2022, there were 2 million animators globally making $75,000 a year on average. But also, here's an animated scene featuring a close-up of a short fluffy monster kneeling beside a melting red candle. Does that mean we don't need an entire studio of 3D graphics animators? I don't know, but Sora also extends way beyond animation and movie making. It's also going to change the way that people make commercials, like car commercials, for example, which will never be made the same again. And here's a typical car shot. You might see a drone following a car in extreme detail. And here's another of a Porsche just driving in the mountains, and it looks insanely real. If you never told me, I would never have noticed that these were AI-generated videos. And this is coming from a guy who did video production professionally for 20 years. No one is safe from this technology. Not even time travelers. They're about to go out of business too. Here's a really detailed shot of California during the gold rush. It's even able to visualize not only what the past might have looked like, but also the future. Here's a shot of Lagos, Nigeria in the year 2056, shot with a mobile phone camera. When I first found out about this, my first thought was, this is an April Fool's joke, right? There's no way these videos were AI generated. How did we go from making videos that looked like this less than a year ago, makes no sense at all, to videos that look like this, which look like they're shot on beautiful 4K cameras in slow motion. So I guess we can also say goodbye to stock footage companies. And OpenAI tells us that these were all created by Sora without any modification. So this is not a joke. This technology is here to stay. And my question is, what's gonna happen next? Now, I watched one of the first videos that came out about this by MKBHD, and he had a really interesting observation about that drone shot that I showed you earlier.
And that has all sorts of implications for the drone pilot that no longer needs to be hired, for all the photographers and videographers whose footage no longer needs to be licensed to show up in that ad that's being made. It's already that good.
Which is exactly my point. And that Tokyo shot, short of going to Tokyo and hiring a crew of videographers, maybe a video editor, maybe a colorist, booking flights to get there, the hotels, the meals, all of that is not as needed anymore. There's gonna be a lot of jobs that will be eliminated, or at the very least, those incomes will be drastically reduced and the jobs will be concentrated into fewer jobs. We kind of already saw that happen with ChatGPT and the writer's strike. I imagine we'll see more job postings like this one from Netflix when they wanted to find an AI platform manager and they offered them $900,000 per year. For the companies that can, I can see them consolidating, say, 20 of their jobs into fewer at a fraction of the cost. And the thing that's scary, without trying to fearmonger because I don't know the answer, is that if you eliminate an entire industry of people, even if it's a small one, it can have ripple consequences on the entire global economy, with loss of employment, loss of productivity, lower profits potentially, supply chain problems, and the assets and loans of those people and who pays for them if they can't. Also, it's election year, and this technology has gotten so good that it's crossed the uncanny valley. In other words, the people in these AI videos look real, especially to people who might not be looking for or even be aware of what AI can do already. And the thing that's shocking that we have to keep in mind is that this technology is getting better and better, faster and faster. Again, remember, this is where we were less than a year ago. Now, there are a couple good things that I can see coming from this technology, and one of them is fan-made recreations of alternate endings for their favorite shows, because I think some of them do need it. I imagine this will open up a floodgate of new content creators on social media. Who knows, we might even see the first AI-generated person who people don't even know is not a real person. Like, I could be AI-generated, you don't know. Your mind would be blown. All I'm saying is, you've never seen me and Sora in the same room. The good news is, for now, they do have safeguards in place, like, for example, the watermark in the bottom right-hand corner, which for now is how you can tell it was AI generated, but someone can also easily just crop that out. They're also keeping this technology only open to the, quote, red teamers, or the group of testers who are working to refine it, because right now it's not perfect. If you look close enough at any of the shots, you'll notice that something is off. It's very small though, and you have to look really, really close. Like, for example, one of my favorites is this shot of the dogs playing in the snow. It's probably one of the best I've seen on their website. At first glance, you probably didn't notice what just happened. I know I didn't, but if you look close enough, you'll see that the gravity reverses and the snow sort of falls upward for a split second. Also, the Gold Rush California scene, right in the beginning, there's a horse that just copperfields and vanishes from the left side of the frame. Sometimes it's just super subtle like that, and all the clips have something in them if you play them frame by frame, And other times it's a lot more obvious, like for example, these red pandas in the petri dish which only have 2 legs for some reason, or these multiplying wolves which shouldn't be doing that. It has trouble with accuracy when it comes to multiples of things. The good news is, if you look close enough, you'll notice something, but it is good enough to be used creatively and I imagine in some cases, dangerously. But also, remember, it's only gonna get better from here, or maybe worse. Well, I guess it's better for some people and worse for the people that make videos for a living. Hey, wait a minute. I'm a Blake employee. I'd love to know your thoughts about what you think all of this means if there's entire industries that we might not need. Now, I don't think that AI is gonna be the end of us, but if it is, we'll get some really great shows and movies out of it, and I'm really looking forward to that. As always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to grab your free stocks. Links are down below, and then go track them automatically with a spreadsheet link down below in my Patreon. Love you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'd love to see you back here on Monday and Friday, sometimes a Wednesday. See you soon. Bye-bye.